modelers. Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Darren here, coming at you with installment number 2 of the MENG F-4E build. As you remember, leaving off of the last episode, the first episode, we got the cockpit all finished. Here's a picture of that. This was pretty much just using what's in the box, nothing special. The decals, maybe a little bit of resin on some of the dials, but that's about it. The only thing I'll be adding aftermarket to this cockpit will be a set of ejection seats, resin injection seats, and some remove before flight tags, and that will be about it. So trying to keep this as true to just out of the box as I possibly can. In this episode, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you what the progress that I've got through so far. We're now up to step 9, which is the intakes, the exhaust cans, and getting the fuselage pretty much buttoned up and ready to put together. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and move on over here to the bench, and we'll work on through these next steps in hopes of getting the fuselage buttoned up and ready for paint by the end of this exciting episode. So let's move on over and get after it. What we've done so far, just to kind of recap, we did the cockpit, got that installed, went on and did the tail assembly and got that installed, and I'll show you the instructions right up here. It was pretty straightforward. It's gonna be just a little bit of sanding, but I mean the fit was really good, so there won't be too much work here at all to get that cleaned up. Now a lot of folks, they will take and have rigged this so that they can put these horizontals in later on. I think there's plenty of room here for me to mask up the metallic areas a little bit later on and get that going. So I elected just to go ahead and put it in as one piece. After that, we went on over to step 7, which was our bleed air doors. Here I got a little tape all over this. My apologies, but I was doing a little bit of test fitting. But I got the bleed air doors installed. Of course, the landing gear wells and the nose wheel well is all done, and that was all pretty straightforward. Nothing really exciting to show there, just you know, busy work. So those are in, and these wheel wells will get another coat of paint and some detail painting here after just a little bit. Let's see, next up was takes us right to where we're at now with the intakes and exhaust. Now, I did the intakes off camera. You can see these were poured. Good Lord, this little piece of tape will not go away, will it? I poured the intakes with latex paint. I think you can see that they look pretty good in there. The seams are gone. That is a latex paint that I had tinted in a insignia white. And they really, I think they did well. They're going to work well for this application, being that you're not going to see it really when it's all assembled. Now, the intake I just have kind of dry fit together, just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Whenever you put these on, you can see inside, if you can see that, once they're installed, you see very little of the intake. So, yeah, that'll look the part once it's all glued in and is all tight. So if you'd like a separate tutorial on how to do the pour thing, I think there's quite a few of them out there online, but I'd be more than happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments down below. So that's done. The second thing I was working on was the exhaust. Now here's a picture of an F4 exhaust. And you know, you can really go crazy with the cheese whiz here, but I elected to just stay simple here again because it's not going to be seen. I haven't put the halves together obviously yet, but just some shades of green. I didn't think that the juice was going to be worth the squeeze when it came to doing some super detailing in here. This green I think is going to be work the part fine. It's going to look great. You can see in this scale that, let's see, that's the wrong one. When I get these together, again, you are not going to see much in there. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to worry about the seams because it just marries up, and we still don't have the exhaust can on there yet. So I think that that's going to be fine. So those are ready to be glued together. As I said, the intakes, I've got these just kind of mocked up. The only thing I've glued in is this back half to the intake ramp. So what I have to do now in preparation for putting these in is I have to go ahead and get some paint inside the intakes and on here. I'm also wanting to take the fuselage and do some painting up in here, these hard to spot, get to areas, hard spots to get to prior to putting those intakes on. As you can see, once we do this, there is not much room to get down inside there. So, and look at the fit. That fits pretty damn good, don't it? Yep, pretty impressed so far. Kit's been really good. So let me go ahead and get everything set up. We're going to get some painting done on here, get some painting done in here, and then we're going to go ahead and start getting this thing buttoned up. Okay, so here we go. I've got the black in here. This is just Mr. Surfacer 1500 black. Got that primed up all around the intake areas. I also went ahead and, as you can see, got the backs of these. Again, these are just stuck together. Of course, I wanted to be able to take these and put them on and see what I had to paint and what I didn't have to paint on the backside. So these are done. The next is going to be painting the grays inside. Now, I'm going to be doing the hill camouflage scheme. This one is to represent aircraft number 67392, which you can see here, Texas Air National Guard. And so that hill camouflage scheme with the light and dark grays. So what have I picked to replicate those? A little bit of research online, and the closest I've got here, of course, is Gunship Gray 36118 and Hayes Gray 36270. So that'll be next. I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to give a slight marble coat, especially up here on the top, so I can do a little black basing action here on the top there. That's going to be the overall top piece of this will be black based to show a little wear and tear. Obviously, as you get underneath the aircraft, the sun's not as prominent, so you don't get that effect as much on the bottom. So we'll change gears just a little bit when we get to the bottom. But for now, that's what's up next, is to go ahead and get that marble coat on there, get the intake sprayed, and then we can move on. So, and there is one side just ready to button up. So now this is going to mellow out a little bit. This is absolutely not done, and we'll need to have a little bit more touch up. That's fine right there, but the base is done, and that's what I'm concerned about, is getting the base colors inside here so that I can finish painting without getting any types of buildup of dusty paint that from paint swirling inside these recessed areas. So that's done. I'm going to go ahead and do the same to the other side, and then come back and we will be able to button this stuff up and be one step further to having something that looks like an F-4 Phantom. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. Intakes are done. Yeah, all right, so there's injector pin marks on the back. You ain't gonna see those, folks, so don't freak out on me. There, ready to go. Got this side done. It's looking spiffy. That side done is looking spiffy, so that's ready to go. The next thing we're going to have to do here is go ahead and take our exhausts, as I showed those to you earlier. Here's the other one still open. Little greens, some blacks, some tans, just to kind of bust it up in there. We're going to use a little bit of our Tamiya Extra Thin and button these bad boys up. Straight on down. And same on this side. And yeah, Bob's your uncle, man. I think those look pretty good. That inside seam is hidden very well, so No issues whatsoever there. On to the other one. So we've got all that. We've got our intakes done. Let's take our bottom piece here, and it's going to be all about getting those set in place, right? So it goes in there real simple, like so. And what I'm going to do is just sit them in there like that. I'm going to come in here from the back side. I'm going to glue it in place here, glue it in place over here, and then go in down there as well, like so, and down here. Next up are our ones back here. We'll put those in place like so. Again, down the side, down the side, and there as well. I'll come over here to this one. I'll put some in there. Like that. And in they go. All right, let me take these outer wing pieces off, because the next thing we're going to do is put our wing tips on. Off they come, like so. One thing else I want to do is I want to go through my instructions one more time and look to make sure I don't have any holes that have to be drilled, which is incredible. I don't see any, and that's very abnormal. So that's good. Okay, let me get these wing tip pieces pulled out, trimmed up, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, I've already got this side on over here, and I want to show you. This is really genius. It's the way this fits together, and I mean the fit is really, really good. If you look along the leading edge, especially this one, there's hardly anything on there. It's going to take a little bit of just a light sanding, but there's going to be no seam whatsoever. Now in the leading edge slat area, there's a little line, which I'm going to fill and sand that in, so I just smooth it all in one piece. But overall, there's no gaps. It fits really well. Over here on the wing, the way the outer wings go on is genius too. It just, folks, it just snaps into place. You hear that snap? And it's in there. Now, I put glue in to reinforce it, but at the end of the day, it's tight, man. You really don't need much at all. Now, I just put a little bit of quick set in there, here, and along the outsides here. I mean, obviously, I'm going to glue it because I don't want it to come loose later on, or have a chance to anyway. But for the most part, that just locks in there. Then the next thing you do, which makes it so simple, put a little bit of glue in here. This is just regular Tamiya. This is just kind of hold it in place. And then the outer wing, which did not need much cleanup at all, might I add, just falls into place. And here again, you'll see on the leading edge, I'm just holding it. There's hardly any gap whatsoever. In this, and here it will be really simple to clean up. So I'll go around and going to go ahead and glue that down, and then we'll button up the fuselage. Okay, we have got both wings in place, and we can move on to throwing on the fuselage here. Oh, let me see here. Look at that. Tabs in there. And pull that around. And wham bam, thank you, man. This thing's starting to look like a Phantom. So all I'm gonna do is just kind of start. I like to start on one end, work my way around, and just work it, putting it together so that all of my panels stay flush and we get the least amount of gaps as we possibly can. So I already see where I think we're going to have one little gap area, but that's going to be easy to fill. Let me go ahead and get it all glued together, and we'll then we'll come back and we'll put those intakes on. Okay, here we go. We got us a Phantom. I will say that I did have a little bit of problem. Right back here, you'll see a gap. There's one on each side. Now, this is real thin, right? And I could push it in and make it flat. But I'm afraid that if I do that, then I'm going to screw up where the exhaust exhaust can sticks out. So I'm going to take a piece of styrene card and fill that and trim it back. I have yet to glue that, so that's something I'll do off camera. You can see how well the intakes fit. There is a little small area right here I'm going to have to deal with, but that's minor. The rest of it is smooth, no steps, feels good, looks good, both sides. So, yep, there we go with that. You can see inside the intakes, if I can get in there. Very hard to see, but that all lined up really well, looks good. Here's that gap on this side, same thing. You can see I'm going to push it in, but I have a feeling that that's going to throw things off. So, that's going to leave us for now. I need to let this dry up, and then I'll take some 800 grit and go ahead and clean up my little glue marks. And it's going to be too long. We'll be throwing some primer and paint on this thing. So in the next episode, we will deal with the flaps and the vertical stabilizer, the nose, the under chin area, and get everything ready for primer and paint. Okay, so there you go. Moving right along. Like I said, got a few things to take care of before the next video. Again, I want to tell you all thank you. Say thank you for stopping by and watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you got something out of it, then please do me a favor and go ahead and hit that like button. If this is the type of content you're looking for, please go ahead and hit the subscribe. Love to have you as a subscriber and hope to see you back. So until next time, let's all be good to each other. And by all means, man, get out there and melt some plastic and build something. So peace out, and we'll talk to you later. Good night.